Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the previous lesson, we took Nahu and we said that Kalam, according to the Nuha, has 4 conditions. Okay. After that, he then told you the types of Kalam, 3 ism, fi'l, and harf. Now he told you how to identify an ism. How do you identify something is a noun, a word is a noun? He said either you know one of 4 signs. Bil khafdi, khaft is kasrah. So this word is able to accept kasrah. What tanween, 2 fathas, 2 kasras, 2 dhammas. Wa dukhul al-alif wal lam alayhi. And it can accept alif and lam. Then you got the 4th sign. He says wa huroof al-khafdi. Huroof al-khaft, khaft also means jar, i.e. a certain huroof, when they come before a word, they give the word after it a kasrah. Wahiyya, and they are. He mentions to you 9. Min, the first is min. Min means from. So for example, if you say min al-bayti in a sentence, okay, min is harf jar. So al-bayti always has to have a kasrah because it's majroor. Why? It was preceded by one of the huruf al-jar, which was min. Then you got ila, which means to. So ذهبت إلى المسجد. You can't say إلى المسجد or إلى المسجد. No, إلى المسجد. Masjid will be majroor. It will have a kasrah. Why? Because before it was harf jar. An. Okay. An has different meanings. It could mean about. For example, كلمتك عن الموضوع. I spoke to you about the topic. So the minute a word comes after this and it takes kasrah, then you know it's an ism. Ala, which means on top. So for example, ala tawilati, on top of the table. So tawilati, it can never be tawilatu. Why? Because it's preceded by harf jar. And you got fi, which means in. So ana jalisun fil bayti, I'm sitting in the house. So you can never say fil bayta. Rubba has 2 meanings. It could mean that it's used for something very rare or something where the probability or the odds are great, depending on the context. So for example, after rubba, the word after that will have a kasrah. Hence, you know it's an ism. Then ba has different meanings. So the actual letter. So for example, bisikini, with the knife, and it has different meanings. Bismi, for example, kaf is used to compare something. So you say kal asadi, like a lion. So the word asad is an ism, and it's also majroor. Why is it an ism? Because it before it is harf jar and it's able to take this and become majroor. Then you got lam. So for example, if you say if you had to say li zaydin, this is for Zayd, for example. هذا الكتاب لزيد. Then lam harf jar and zaydin will be majroor, and it's an ism, right? Then after that you got huruf al-qasam. Huruf al-qasam are letters which are used to take an oath with. So for example, wow. So you say wallahi. So you can't say, when taking an oath, you don't say wallahu or wallaha. You say wallahi. And you also ba, when you're taking an oath, you can say billahi. And then tallahi, etc. So I'll show you on the whiteboard again. So we have our, some people call them mind maps. It's easy for you to understand. Look here. You started with here, kalam, right? And then from there you went to nouns, verb, and harf. And from the nouns, you said we can identify them by one of 4. First is Khaybar.
التنوين. الاسم يعرف بالخفض by a jar. بالخفض.
Right. So you see the advantage of memorizing and understanding, not only memorize. So jar, and you got tanween, and you got dukhul alif wal lam. And now you took huruf al-jar. So now always you've got to bear in mind these huruf al-jar. Anytime you're speaking, don't ever say min al-bayta, but don't ever say fil bayta. You've got to understand them, right? So that's clear. Any questions with what we've taken so far? Then tomorrow he'll give you alamatul fi'l and alamatul harf. Okay. Any questions? Sheikh Alamgir? Simple. You are on mute. You'll have to unmute.
Sheikh, I forgot the meaning of wa'an. I remember we said al-masjid baridun anil bayt.
Yeah, so that's another meaning for an. An they translate as mujawaza. So mujawaza is something exceeds or it passes the limit. And these you will look at the context. They could have different meanings according to the context. Any other questions? Nothing. Yalla, we move on to our revision. Now I'm going to try and incorporate this dars as well as the other dars.